Hello and welcome to Wednesdays with Woody, where we interrupt your regular Wednesdays to bring you this hot ass mess of a show. It's Wednesdays. If you haven't guessed it, I'm your host, Woody Woods, who is just trying this week to make it through. And I'll be guiding you through this Wednesday session with Woody. The warmest of welcomes if this is your first time here. If you're a returning listener, thank you for lending me your ears, lending me your time, and just gracing me with your presence on this Wednesday session. I, for one, cannot believe that it's the end of Pride Month. I got up to absolutely nothing, but that's per usual. But the podcast did provide me with many interesting conversations on some very interesting topics. Unfortunately, this Pride is not marred without its own tragedies. A gunman killed 2 people at a gay bar in Oslo ahead of the Pride parade. My condolences really go out to the families who lost loved ones, as well as those affected by this senseless hate crime. You know, we spend a lot of time joking about it being 2022 and we should have moved past these occurrences and incidents of such extreme violence, but here we are, still finding ourselves here, and it's quite tragic. It's quite tragic that as a people, or as a community rather, in fact, as a people also, there's still so much opposition against loving who you want to love and just expressing that in a public place where you should feel safe. You should be protected by the rights of your country. I, for one, am not sure what it's going to take. I don't know what it's going to take to change people's minds, to really move into a state where, and we've been talking about it for the last couple of weeks, into a state where we can really just feel completely valid, completely safe, and completely accepted for who we are, you know? You know, when I began this podcast at the beginning of this month, at the beginning of this Pride Month, I really looked at it as an opportunity to celebrate gay lived experiences, gay lives, gay love, gay joy, gay happiness, black gay joy, you know? But as the month has unrolled itself, it really has not been those topics. I don't think I spoke about any of that. You know, I think I went to some places where even I was like, are we really gonna go here? This is where we're gonna go? And we had conversations on acceptance and representation and being bullied in high school. But there were so many other things that were happening in the world. There was Lil Nas X and the BET saga. There was the monkeypox rhetoric in SA, which was quite dangerous. Not even quite dangerous, it was very dangerous. All of which really just points to the need for greater discussion, greater activism, greater participation in alleviating a lot of the... Are we alleviating? Is that the right word? In challenging a lot of the homophobia that so many LGBTQIA plus youth experience. Yeah. I just think that it's important that we continue the fight. Was that more like a question? That we continue the fight for LGBTQIA plus little boys and girls all over the world, so that they can grow up in a society and in a world that they can feel safe in, validated in, and accepted in. I for one would hate. I would hate if any of my nieces or nephews, or I don't know, anyone, if I had a child, if I had a child in the future, I would want them to live in a society where they felt accepted. But over this month, we've seen how very quickly the legislative rights that are put in place to protect so many people can be stripped away from them. And we find ourselves in precarious situations where we have to now challenge the very boards and structures of society that were established to protect us, as a means of survival, as a means of living the lives that we want to live. And that's scary. That's actually just the scariest thing that I can possibly think of. That's happened this month. So yes, Pride Month has unfortunately come to an end. But it's also just an opportunity to reflect on how far we've come and how far we still have to go. And I feel like a broken record, because I feel like this is exactly what I've been saying the whole month when it comes to LGBTQIA plus communities, lives, people. We have such a long way to go, and it's going to take allyship. It's going to take broader conversation. Man, I have said all of that. I have said all of this before. And it's just a shame that, what was I expecting also? In a month, the world would, miraculously become an accepting place of LGBTQIA plus people, where we could just hold hands and run through the meadows happily. I don't know, man. But the facts still remain. Many countries across the world still have high rates of homophobia. Trans people are being killed and persecuted left, right, and center. Social media is also just not a safe place. Never mind your everyday lived experiences. We still haven't gotten to the point where you can just love who you want to love, It still feels like there is so much work to do. So much work to do in order to get to a point of acceptance. Basic acceptance. I'm not asking you to love every same-sex loving homosexual that you come into contact with, or to, I don't know, man. Just accept that, people are living lives that are different from your own, and you don't necessarily need to have an opinion sometimes. Sometimes just keep your mouth shut. One of the things my mother taught me was, if you don't have anything nice to say, shut up. Just shut the hell up and keep it moving. There's just too much. And clearly today's podcast took a turn that I clearly did not expect, but here we are. And I don't want to take up any more of your fabulous Wednesday, or your bleak Wednesday. But I do want us just to take a moment, as a community, as a ally, as a friend, as a brother, as a sister, as a mother, as a father. Just take some time to think about what LGBTQIA plus people have to go through on a daily basis. What that lived experience looks like for a boy who is in high school, being bullied or being called out, someone who's not ready to come out. What a girl who is trying to find her sexuality is going through, as she has to travel through the male gaze, be haunted by that, and be told it's just a phase. I think that we can all definitely do better for each other. As a human race, as a people, as friends and brothers and lovers and we can all do way better for each other. But it takes courage. It takes courage to want to see a better world, to want to see some real change. It takes courage. And you have to be willing. You've got to be willing to put yourself on the line. Put yourself out there. Challenge the status quo. Reinvent the wheel. Whatever you got to do. But something has got to change in this world, because good golly gosh, I worry about what the future looks like for us, all of us. Yeah. And that, ladies and gentlemen, and anyone else who is non-identifying or identifying as something else, whatever, I hope that you have a good week going forward. I hope that it is full of light, it is full of love, and I thank you. I thank you for joining me on this week's podcast. I thank you for lending me your ears, lending me your time, as per usual. I hope I didn't waste it all, and I look forward to hopefully finding you here next week, where we'll be discussing who knows what we'll be discussing. And yeah, as always, you can find me on all social medias. I am Woody Woods. Just drop a hi, drop a how you doing, can we chat? I'm ready for conversation at any moment in time, and I'd love to hear from you guys, as always. So yeah, have a good week, and adios amigos.